So, to those of you brave souls who have remained in the audience for this next final, first of all, thank you very much for staying put. Secondly, what you're going to be witnessing now is the 10-meter air rifle veterans final. And as per usual, I will do an introduction of the athletes, and I expect all of you to make some noise and show your appreciation whenever they appear on your right-hand side. So, on firing point A, representing Denmark, Marianne Lamhauge. And on firing point B, also representing Denmark, René Andersen. On firing point C, representing Sweden, Lolo Ramsing. And on firing point D, the last Danish competitor in this final, Poul Christensen. And on firing point E, our southern neighbors from Germany, Michael Kronemann. And from our southern neighbors to our northern neighbors, on firing point F, representing Norway, Øyvind Johannessen. And on firing point G, representing Norway, Stein Martinsen. And on firing point H, finishing the Norwegian trio, Robert Stornes.
Take your positions. Five minutes preparation and sighting time. Start.
And everyone, once again, welcome to the finals hall here at Denmark Open Air 2026 for the second day. And as I briefly mentioned before, what you will be witnessing now is the 10-meter air rifle veterans final. Yes, exciting stuff, right? Yes, wow. And just by the odd chance that some of you in the audience might not know how this format of final goes, I will just briefly explain it to you. So, the athletes are now doing their 5-minute preparation and sighting time, where they have the chance to kind of zero in on the middle of the target, find their position and get comfortable before everything starts cracking. And when those 5 minutes are done in approximately 4 minutes time by now, we will go into the first part of the final, which is consisting of 2 series of 5 shots. Each series must be fired within a time of 4 minutes and 10 seconds. When the athletes are done with that, after a total of 10 shots, we transition into the elimination phase of this final. So, in that phase, the athletes will fire single shots, and each shot will be on command and fired within a time of 50 seconds. After every second single shot, the lowest ranking athlete will be eliminated. And in more practical terms, that basically means that after 12 shots, we will eliminate our 8th positioned athlete, 14 will be number 7, 16 will be number 6, and so on and so forth until we reach 22 shots, where we decide our bronze medal, and then after 24 shots, we will decide our gold and silver. So, now that we've gotten that technicality out of the way, I think it's time to sort of try and rattle up the audience, even though it's sort of dwindled down a bit in here. I do kind of expect all of you to carry the load of the about 50 people who left. So, yeah, well, I see people with drums up there, yes? Yes, okay, that's a good start, that's a good start. So, as per usual, I will start by asking who is supporting who, and I, of course, as a Dane, will be ruthlessly and unashamedly supporting the Danes, just so you're completely clear about that. So, anyone else with me in support of the Danes? Yes? Good? Great? Great. Even the streaming guy over here is shouting. That's wonderful. How about anyone supporting Lolo Ramsing of Sweden? Yeah? Wonderful. Yes. And how about the German Michael Kronemann? Ja? Aus geht's Deutschland, ja? Gut. Sehr schön. And, well, that kind of leaves the last 3 competitors. The Norwegians. Is anyone really rooting for Norway here? Okay, well, wow. So, as I said before, because we've been sort of losing members of the audience gradually for the last 2 finals, unfortunately, I do kind of expect all of you to collectively go really hard at it. So maybe we should just, do a show of force. So can you make some noise for me, please? Good, thank you. You just have to keep that up for the next 25 minutes. So, there is nothing left to say than stay engaged, support the athletes, show them all your love and appreciation whenever they're doing great, and I promise you, even though this is, well, an old but gold kind of final, this will be a wonderful and absolutely interesting and close final. So please stay put, ladies and gentlemen, and enjoy.
Second. Preparation and sighting time. Stop. For the first contest series, load. Start. Stop.
So, after the first 5-shot series, we have a split first position between the Danish Marianne Lamhauge and the Norwegian Øyvind Johannessen. Both of them with a total score of 50.1, and currently in third position, just 0.2 of a point behind them, we have also representing Norway, Robert Stornes.
For the next contest series, load. Start. Stop.
And following the last 5-shot series with a total of 100.8 in first position, representing Norway, Robert Stornes. And in this series, Robert really put in some deep 10s with two 10.6s. And 1.2 points behind him with a total of 99.6 we have representing Denmark, Marianne Lamhauge. And a further 8/10 of a point behind her, representing Norway in third position, Øyvind Johannesson. And now we move into the elimination phase of this final. And currently we have a tie for last position between the Dane Poul Christensen and the Swede Lolo Ramsing, both with a total score of 94.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And an 8.5 from Lolo Ramsing was enough to make the difference, so she is now relatively secure in 7th position, but 8/10 of a point behind her and in danger of elimination after the next single shot we have from Denmark, Poul Christensen.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And taking 8th position, representing Sweden, Lolo Ramsing. And with a 10.9, Poul Christensen definitely did not want to leave this final. A great round of applause. However, he is still in danger of elimination after the next 2 single shots, but the difference between him and René Andersen of Denmark in 6th position is just 4/10 of a point. At the other end of the table, we have with a total score of 120.7 and a difference of 1.8 down to 2nd position from Norway, Robert Stornes.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And with a 10.3, Poul Christensen is once again climbing the scoreboard. However, the difference between him and the current inhabitor of the 7th position, René Andersen of Denmark, is just 1/10 of a point.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And taking 7th position, representing Germany, and with a small margin of 2/10 of a point, we have Michael Kronemann. And once again, Paul Christensen of Denmark is in danger of elimination. He keeps on saving himself. Maybe he can do it once more. The difference between himself and safety is just 1/10 of a point. However, on the other side of the scoreboard between silver, bronze and gold position, there has been a slight change-up. New man in the lead with a total of 139.5. Representing Norway, Øyvind Johannesson.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And after this single shot, we can once again admire the climbing abilities of the Danish Paul Christensen, who is now in a relatively safe position, in 5th position. The difference between him and the current inhabitor of the 6th position and in danger of elimination from Norway, Stein Martinsen, is 1.2.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And there we have it, taking 6th position, representing Norway, Stein Martinsen. And currently in 5th position with a deficit of 0.4 of a point up to safety in 4th, we have representing Denmark, René Andersen. And at the front of the board, we have with a total of 158.3, but with a dwindling advantage, now only 0.3 of a point, representing Norway, Øyvind Johannesson.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And there has been a slight change at the bottom of the leaderboard with an unfortunate 7.5. Marianne Lamhauge currently slips into 5th position and is now in danger of elimination after the next single shot. However, the difference between her and 4th positioned Dane René Andersen is only 1.5 points.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And taking 5th position, representing Denmark, Marianne Lamhauge. And with a beautiful 10.9, René Andersen wanted to put a little distance between himself and his compatriot Paul Christensen. The difference between the two is now just 1/10 of a point. At the other end of the scoreboard, we have a new man, once again in the lead with a total score of 178.1, representing Norway, Robert Stornes.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
So after this single shot, the difference between Paul Christensen in fourth and his compatriot René Andersen in third has now increased to 9/10 of a point.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And after a last-minute change, we say congratulations on fourth position to the Dane René Andersen. And now we get to decide the gold, silver, and bronze medal. And after the next two shots, we will most likely have our bronze medalists. And currently in that position with a deficit of 3.7 points, and a total of 191.7, representing Denmark, Paul Christensen. And still in the lead of this final, representing Norway, Robert Stornes. And 2.7 points behind him, also from Norway, in second position, Øyvind Johannessen.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And after this single shot, the difference between third position Paul Christensen of Denmark and second position Norwegian Øyvind Johannessen is now 4.5 points.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And climbing from 8th position to the bronze medal, representing Denmark, Paul Christensen. And now we have a Norwegian fight on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. The difference between first positioned Robert Stornes and second positioned Øyvind Johannessen is 2.6.
For the next competition shot, load. Start.
And before what might very well be the last shot, Robert Stornes is really fighting to maintain his advantage. He shoots a beautiful 10.6. However, Øyvind Johannessen does not want him to slip away that easily, and he responds with a 10.5. However, the difference between them is now 2.7.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And our silver medalist representing Norway, Øyvind Johannessen. And our gold medalist with a beautiful finish of a 10.5 representing Norway, Robert Stornes. And once again, dear audience, I really want you all to stay put for the medal ceremony of the 10-meter air rifle veterans final, which will take place in about 5 minutes.